Good Thursday evening, Southeast Texas. Welcome to 12 News Plus. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes taking an in-depth look at your 7-day forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn. Looking at some high clouds out there right now. This is emanating from a distant thunderstorm that has weakened over Tyler County. The north winds aloft has brought that smooth high cloud deck in our area. Of course, these are cumulus clouds in the foreground on the Sky Cam there at Packard-LaPrade, part of the Roofing 911 Sky Cam network. Anyway, headlines right now over the next 7 days, it looks pretty uneventful, pretty normal for summertime. Rain chances should be around a 30% coverage. We may see a little bit above that coming up Sunday, Monday, and Thursday of next week. So pretty close to typical. Lows remaining in the 70s and highs in the low to mid 90s across Southeast Texas. For you allergy sufferers, mold is up a bit to moderate levels, and so is weed pollen, but grass pollen at low levels. Otherwise, taking a look at temperatures through the next 7 days, we expect 94. That's our normal high. Right now until the 13th of August, we are at the hottest part of the year. 94 is the hottest average temperature we see until the 13th of August. So that would be through Wednesday of next week. So a little bit below normal across our area. As far as rainfall across Southeast Texas, we are expecting pretty typical Friday and Saturday. The winds are not terribly favorable. Yes, high pressure is weakening, but you have to look at winds just above the surface, maybe at 5 and 10,000 feet, and they appear to be a little easterly, so that's not very conducive. That's going to be changing Sunday and Monday as we get the winds more southeasterly off the Gulf because of an upper level disturbance and certainly lots of moisture. That may enhance us to a 40, maybe 50% coverage for what we're looking at right now. Otherwise, then back down Tuesday and Wednesday, and then a surge off the Gulf next Thursday. At this far point, you know, it looks wet, but I'm not going to go above a 40% coverage. We want to see more runs to confirm and increase my confidence. But 40% coverage is pretty good coverage at this point, 7 days out. So Sunday and Monday, I don't think it'll be a washout this weekend. So as far as moisture levels in the atmosphere, you can see that surge coming on in as we head towards the middle and latter part of next week. Otherwise, a little bit of a surge here on Sunday and Monday across Southeast Texas, and that will help us to see a little better chance of shower and thunderstorm activity Sunday into Monday, and then again as we work on into Wednesday and Thursday. So tomorrow, this is my forecast for the triangle, and that should be tomorrow, Friday. We'll go with a high of about 93, 94 in the triangle and a 30% coverage. Now let's compare it to the modeling. And it's going only a 20% coverage tomorrow. So I think it's going to be a little better chance of rain and thunderstorm activity. So we're close, but not far away. For the lakes area, again, I want to show you my forecast and compare it to modeling so you know. 95 is what I'm going to go up in the lakes area with partly cloudy skies, light and variable winds, hot and humid, and again about a 20% coverage. And yeah, we're probably going to go with a little higher chance up in the lakes area. Otherwise, highs in the mid-90s seem good. Regional view across our area, a few storms over towards Houston and back over to southwest Louisiana, over towards Orange, and back over to Lake Charles, seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms, back over towards Acadiana, and of course back over to Baton Rouge and New Orleans. But pretty quiet over Southeast Texas. We'll keep a 10% coverage here the next hour or so. But again, you can see that thunderstorm that moved across Tyler County. It produced quite a bit of high-level cloudiness, and that is streaming on into Beaumont and into Vidor and back over to Kuntz and to Lumberton right now. That is the high-level cloudiness produced by that thunderstorm. And as you can see, temperatures are still hot at this hour, 90 degrees, and also some thunder showers over towards Sulphur. And there we go. We finally got something along the sea breeze. Thought that we should keep a 10% coverage. So still about a 10% coverage the next hour or two as the sea breeze works on in, and still plentiful daytime heating still out there. Otherwise pretty quiet this evening, and you can see the activity back over towards Lafayette. Pretty pretty active there. But this is the thunder shower we were watching, thunderstorm really, that moved right across Woodville and Cominil, Chester, back over towards Dam B. Produced lots of lightning, no severe weather, but dumped a good inch of rainfall plus just to the west of Dam B, in between Dam B and Cominil. Probably got about an inch over towards Cominil. Otherwise, things are quieting down, and as you can see, we'll be watching this head our way as we work on into maybe Sunday. But high pressure is in control of the state's weather for the most part. Again, this looks like a little bit of smoke or haze maybe from fires in Canada being evicted, transported down to the north. Kind of see this little hazy look, especially when the clouds dissipate at the end of this loop right there. You can see that haze across southeast Texas. Kind of saw that today. Otherwise, high pressure really putting a damper. The core of it is into west and northwest Texas. Look at the sun out there into west Texas this evening. Otherwise, as we take a look at our forecast tonight, yeah, it just seems like it's overdone. Still can't rule out maybe a 10% coverage, but I do expect that low temperatures are not going to be that low coming up tomorrow morning. We'll go with the mid-70s in the lakes, mid-70s. I'm going to go 78 to 80 in Port Arthur, 80 in Mid-County. So yeah, 82 in Sabine Pass. It's going to be a warm, humid night across the area. Otherwise, tomorrow, we'll go with partly cloudy skies. Daytime heating will scour out or produce showers and thunderstorms to the tune of about a 20, maybe 30% coverage tomorrow afternoon. So as we take a look at the upper levels, which is so important this time of year, upper levels and moisture in the atmosphere. See the outer edge of the high? That's the outer edge of the high. It's all the way to Lafayette. So we'll take this into motion, and so we go from around Lafayette and move that edge of that high back over towards Waco. So that is falling heights, weakening high pressure, and we are also watching a couple of disturbances heading into our area from the northwest. Again, the flow is around that high, and moving off towards the south and west. So that's the direction of showers and storms tomorrow. We'll see them come in from the northeast and move to the southwest. Still, you can see up the scale, we've got green over us. That is moisture in the atmosphere. And we'll be also watching off towards our east, that disturbance I was showing you. That's going to be coming on in as we work on in to Sunday and Monday. It produces lift. That's what these red and black blobs are. Those are upper level disturbances, and that trough of low pressure. Then you are looking at moisture and then the upper level pattern. So the high is away from us. You've got an upper level disturbance that causes lift in the atmosphere. And we've got moisture, no doubt about that. But we'll go with about a 40% coverage as we head towards Sunday and Monday. Then we'll be watching another surge of Gulf moisture head our way. And that could produce some locally heavy rainfall as we head towards Thursday of next week. Again, the high is off towards our southeast. We need to get it back over towards the west, especially, and that's what we're seeing as we head towards, say, the end of the month, thankfully. We don't want the high anywhere off towards our east. That's not good for hurricane season, especially as we head towards the peak. So again, we've got to get that high over towards New Mexico, the Four Corners, and northwest Texas. But we do see that happening as we head towards late next week. Otherwise, in the tropics, well, Dexter is no more. Dexter has become extratropical. You can see that. No real confirmed consolidated convection as it heads off towards the north and east. So not an issue for us, never was. And again, it is non-tropical. This disturbance is headed off towards the north and east. Lower chances of it developing. And the one way out there, 60% chance along the intertropical convergence zone. It's right there. That's the intertropical convergence zone. It's where the trade winds meet up. So anyway, that is expected to turn, as we've been saying, off towards the north and probably go back out towards the north and east. So it's basically follow the leader. Follow Dexter. Otherwise, no problem here. I wonder why my crayon's not working well tonight. And this one is not going to work, or this is not going to be an issue for us. So despite all the big stories about, disturbances in the Atlantic, I just don't see anything in the Gulf through the next 7 days. That would take us through the 14th of August, obviously heading towards the peak of hurricane season, the 22nd of September. But right now it looks quiet in the Gulf for the next 7 days, thankfully. Otherwise, oh my goodness, yes, look at that Saharan dust coming off of the west coast of Africa. That's a lot of dust, way up the scale. And what does that say? That says that there is going to be dry air moving across the main development zone into the Caribbean, where there continues to be lots of shear. Regardless, that tells us, and it's not the dust that is a problem. It is a marker in the atmosphere. It's telling us there's dry air. Remember, I've said this time and time again, clouds need moisture to develop and build up into the atmosphere. But if the cloud is at the lower levels, is building up and it encounters a dry layer, it goes poof, it fades out and it evaporates. So that's what we're seeing right here. So some good news. We want to see a lot of dust in the tropical Atlantic. On the Gulf tomorrow, looking at mostly smooth seas around a foot. Good boating weather conditions. Just don't forget the sunscreen and that life preserver. Please and thank you. Light north and east winds are expected in the nearshore waters. High tides at Sabine Pass if you're going fishing at Sabine Pass at 5:01 a.m. and 1:24 p.m. Water temperature still 92 degrees. Those days are getting shorter now, down 8:03 p.m. is sunset. Otherwise, tonight, over the next, let's say, hour or so, we'll give it a 10 to 20% coverage. And then after that, after about 8 p.m. tonight, looking at mostly clear skies developing as winds go calm again. I think we'll do about the mid 70s in the lakes and the mid to upper 70s to around 80 in the triangle. Then tomorrow, looking at rain chances at about a 20 to 30% coverage across the area. We'll go with highs anywhere from 93 to 95. Again, 94 is our normal high for this time of year. And heat indices around 102 to 105. It's not the hottest. It's certainly not record-breaking, not like 2023. So just make sure you keep hydrated. Otherwise, that UV index is almost 10 tomorrow, which is very high. And we're looking at least here in the triangle, south to southeast winds at about 2 to 5 miles an hour. And again, there's your 93, 94, 95 tomorrow. About a 20, maybe 30% coverage of afternoon showers and thunderstorms across the area. Taking a look at that heat index, and as you can see, 102, 104, 105 coming up tomorrow afternoon across southeast Texas. Weather impact, 7-day forecast. So a 30% coverage coming up Friday and Saturday. We've got moisture. So you look at all the variables and you start ticking off which ones are going to work for you. And it looks like tomorrow we've got moisture. We don't have any capping. And so there's going to be instability in daytime heating. The problem is the wind direction at 5,000 and 10,000 feet, not the best. They're going to be more out of the east and northeast tomorrow. So it looks like about a 30% coverage coming up Friday and Saturday. Now, as that upper level trough moves in and we start to see kind of a little bit of a surge of moisture, the winds become a little more favorable, especially Monday. So it looks like about a 40% coverage as we get moisture moving in out of Louisiana. So maybe a 40 to 50% coverage. And it looks like partly sunny skies. Highs will be in the lower 90s. So a little bit lower coming up Sunday and Monday. So as that trough passes us and moves off to the west, oh, by the way, partly sunny skies. Do you know what the difference between partly sunny and mostly cloudy and partly cloudy is? Well, the difference is partly cloudy and you have mostly cloudy. I think most people know what that is. Partly sunny is in between partly cloudy and mostly cloudy, okay? So we're looking at partly sunny skies coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. You gotta hurry here. And then we get that surge of moisture coming